Good afternoon. We read you from the studio of Escenario Regional de Europa with the company of some special guests, the Borreguitos team. Today we'll talk about a really interesting topic, the characteristics of the rise of the right wing in Poland. Before we start, I'd like to show you a video about the Poland's Independence Day that has increasingly become a focus of the right-wing nationalism and the far-right parties that are gathering in the capital.
Warsaw has become a magnet for neo-Nazis and ultra-nationalists. This martial arts group from Russia is just one of the far-right organizations attending a congress on Friday promoting white supremacist ideologies.
A man without a will is like a knife without a blade.
Every year, the extreme right celebrates Poland's Independence Day with a march through the capital. Their opinions are no longer confined to the margins here. The ruling Law and Justice Party has adopted the nationalist rhetoric and placed it in the mainstream of the country's politics. Their leader, Jarosław Kaczynski, warned that refugees from the Middle East were bringing in parasites and diseases.
Our message is a wake-up call for Europe, so that one can live in peace without terrorism and Islamic radicalization, so that we can live in peace and love.
Nobody thought the war and its effects would last half a century for Poland. First, Germany attacks. Then Soviet Russia.
The controversy surrounding this short animated film shows how much the political scene is changing in Poland. It's being screened in the Museum of the Second World War in Gdansk and illustrates how the country's past is being rewritten by today's politicians to secure their own future.
Its history is not a comic book, and right now it's like they are treating our heroes as comic book characters, like Fantastic Four, to get their, I do believe, to get some political advantage. So it's horrid.
It was Subieta's film at the museum that was taken off the screens. The government didn't like its message about the suffering of the civilian population in the war in Syria and the plight of the refugees. Ultra-nationalism and xenophobia are gaining new recruits in a new generation here in Poland. There's been a vast increase in the number of racially motivated attacks, directed mainly at the Muslim minority here, just 40,000 people in a nation of 38 million. Throughout the capital and throughout the country, ceremonies will be taking place to celebrate Poland's Day of Independence. But it's now become a political battleground between a resurgent right and a liberal left. David Cheta, Al Jazeera, Warsaw.
So, Michel, what can you tell me about the political party that helped the rise of the right wing?
Well, in Poland, the ultranationalist, anti-pluralist Law and Justice Party, PIS, founded in 2001 by the twin brothers Lech and Jarosław Kaczynski, has benefited from a combination of agrarian traditions, the strength of Catholicism, decades of authoritarianism, as well as disaffection with democracy and the EU, and the resulting low voter turnout.
And Nora, why did one of Europe's largest far-right gatherings since World War II takes place in Warsaw?
The two factors linked to the resurgence of the radical right in Western Europe. Economic discontent and the influx of refugees certainly played a role. Although Poland's economy has consistently ranked among the fastest growing in Europe, the benefits of growth have been unevenly distributed, and wages in Poland still lag behind those in Western Europe. Many low-income Poles now feel like second-class citizens, not only in the European Union, but also in their own country. In a poll conducted last April, only 22% of respondents agreed that everyone in Poland had equal opportunities, regardless of material circumstances, and 86% complained that the gap between the rich and the poor in Poland was too large.
And Marine, which other characteristics take part in this movement?
So the economic discontent and the refugee influx are only part of the explanation for the far-right strength in Poland. Xenophobic and fundamentalist sentiments have deep historical roots in the country. The idea that only Catholics make good Poles goes back to Roman Dmowski. This right-wing politician who wielded vast influence in the interwar period, although he held government office only briefly as Minister of Foreign Affairs for 7 weeks in 1923. Today, admiration for Dmowski, who championed Polish independence but also admired Italian fascism and was committed anti-Semitic, unites Poles across the political spectrum. The link between Catholicism and Polishness was further solidified in the 80s, thanks to the central role played by the Catholic Church in Solidarity, the anti-communist labor movement that fought for workers' rights, and as well democratic reforms.
So tell me, Elisa, Islamophobia is part of the movement?
There have been reports of hate crimes targeting Muslim minority in Poland. Far-right and right-wing populist political parties and organizations fuel fear and hatred towards Islam and Muslims. Hate crimes such as arson and physical violence have occurred in Poland, despite having a Muslim population of only 0.1%, that is, 30,000 out of 38 million. Politicians have also made racist and anti-Muslim comments when discussing European crisis. Back in 2015, Jaroslaw Krasinski claimed that Poland can't accept any refugees because they could spread infectious diseases. In 2017, the first Deputy Minister of Justice, Patrick Jaki, stated that stopping Islamization is his Western plate.
And then again, Michelle, what is causing the youth of Poland to mobilize so strongly in the name of nationalism and xenophobia?
There are several causes for this development, but one has received scant attention so far: the role of youth. This is remarkable since young voters were a crucial group bringing about Poland's swing to the right in last year's elections. As a result, there is no left or even center-left political party represented in parliament. Young people seem to have been massively swayed by an anti-establishment, xenophobic and Eurosceptic discourse fueled by underlying economic resentments. At the same time, a rise in nationalist sentiments can be observed among the younger generation. To a large extent, this is the result of the state's politics of history of the past decade.
And that's it. Thank you very much, Borreguitos team, and we hope to have you again in the studio. So thank you very much.